Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
You know, I'm thinking now, this week alone, I suggested this technique, this modality to 3 people. And it's with the help that, or just the assumption that they're going to feel better. Their lives will move forward. It worked for me. I'm talking about hypnosis. And everybody, including myself, said the same thing, that I don't know, it's uncomfortable, I'm going to control my mind. I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to be out of control. All not true. And beautiful healing can take place. And a lot of the stuff that you need to heal from, a lot of things that are holding you back from moving forward in life, all come from your childhood. We're going to learn more about that today. She harnesses the power of hypnosis and also Chinese medicine. She practices acupuncture along with herbals and so much more. And she's based out of New York City. She's our professional of the year. Great to have her back with us, Dr. Kelly, on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. And I want to tell everybody, we had a session maybe 2 months ago. And I've said this before, but I'm kind of embarrassingly shocked how I didn't realize the connection to childhood and now, and it came up during hypnosis. It's not like what came up was a total surprise, like I didn't even realize that. I didn't remember that, but I didn't make the connection. And it's with the goal in mind, but with the hypnosis, in like 15 minutes, I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's pretty amazing. I'm sure this happens a lot with you. Can you give an example of maybe something that you help somebody with involving hypnosis that went back to their childhood?
Yeah, so I did a hypnosis yesterday. So this person came in actually originally for fertility. So she wanted to have a baby, but looks like she has some challenge over there. So during the intake, during the intake form, I usually ask, the history, like, I think at the last, I usually ask, how about your parents? Like, do they have any diabetes or, hypertension, heart disease, to get even deeper, to know this person's diagnosis. But she said, I don't know because I'm adopted. So I don't know my biological parents. So from that answer, from her facial expression, I can tell she hold on something deeply in her heart. She actually, since she came into the door, I opened the door, I saw her. I can tell she had so much sadness, anger she had been holding on. I can tell from her face. Then during the intake form, that basically proved she does have a lot of negative thoughts. So we did acupuncture. Actually, she's very happy with acupuncture because she did some surgery, because she had some history of endometriosis, other fibroid stuff. She said she used to have the pain after surgery. She went to see her doctor. Her doctor said, we have nothing, we cannot do anything about that. You just have to deal with it. Let's just after surgery, But after we done, I think first session after we done, she told me the pain went away. So she's so happy. She even told her doctor, she told her friends, she told her family. She was really amazed how effective acupuncture can be. This has been bothering her for many years, the pain. In just one session, it went away. Then during the acupuncture, I said, look, I'm also a certified hypnotherapist. There are a lot of problems, looks like have nothing to do with our emotion, but it does. We all have somehow childhood trauma, like whatever happened to our child. So I said, this can really affect our lives. You can think about it. next time when you come in, if you want to do hypnosis, we can do it. If you just want to stay on acupuncture, that's also fine. So a couple of days ago, she reached out to me, said, Dr. Kelly, can I schedule for hypnosis? I said, sure. So yesterday we did hypnosis, and of course she cried, but not like, like cannot control or something. She was just lying down over there quietly. The tear came out her eyes. I was I was using a tissue try to help her to get out the tear, and but she was very happy afterwards.
And we need to cry. That's the thing. We look at that and I get it. Sometimes I don't want to be sad. Who does? However, that is also, and tell us more about that. That's a release. We're crying to let go of what we've been holding on to, and we may not have even known that we were holding on to some of these emotions, feelings, traumas, right?
Yes, actually, to some people, the sadness is so huge. They couldn't even be able to cry. So in that way, to me, release is good. Cry is good. Unless it's like overwhelming, you cannot get under control or something. In general, actually, patients feel way better after, they cry a little bit. And it's totally fine if you cry. You don't feel like, oh, I'm an adult or I'm a man, I shouldn't cry. No, it's fine.
And I've heard this too. It's so important for us. I believe we are the only species that cries for emotional reason. We're doing that too. And there's chemicals in the tears that release. But I think we're the only ones. Only mammals. Others do release tears, but that's just to clear their eyes, and it's not for an emotional release. So crying is good. It's like sometimes people put on sad songs to feel sad because they may realize, even subconsciously, that I need to let this go. I got to get this out. I find it interesting that this person came to you for something else, and then this came up because of the adoption that she felt she never really belonged. Her family, her parents, I'm sure they loved her, gave her tons of attention, all good, but she had something inside of her feeling that she didn't fully belong to that family. So it's amazing what comes up, during the sessions, right?
Yes. And to be honest, I wouldn't expect she hold on so much inside, because she said since she was 3 years old, she felt like she's so different with other white kids. She looks like an alien, but other people are all like blonde hair, blue eyes. She's like, I feel so different. I feel rejected by other kids. I cannot fit in. So even at home, she did say her parents love her. Her dad, her mom, they love her so much. But even they love her so much, she doesn't feel she belongs to that family. That sadness, like deeply in her heart, made her has a lot of anger, but she cannot release it because she said, I want to have friends. I don't want my friend feel I'm angry, I'm sad. I want people to feel I'm normal, but I feel I'm not normal. I'm not like the same as the people around me. So I have to pretend I'm happy, even inside I'm not. So that's really, really sad, actually, because a person cannot even be herself or himself because of this trauma.
For this person, how many sessions did you do to get her to the point where she was good? She felt much better.
Actually, we just did one session because she has so much memory came up. Like she remember what happened like a 3 year old. She went to school, like, she want to make friends, but people kind of like don't accept her. She felt like rejection when she was only 3. She also mentioned she even went back to the country where she got adopted, try to find her biological parents, but she didn't find anything. So that made her like, oh my God, I may never know who my biological parents are. That made her also very sad.
Sure.
Yeah. So there are so many things going on. And she also mentioned, because during the hypnosis, there's one question, how does your mom relate with it? How does your dad relate with it? How does your brother or sister relate with it? She mentioned about her sister. She said, we are so different. And she hates me, but I want to be closer to her. I want to love her, but she kind of like feel jealous of me because my parents love me. And so her sister actually like not in a good shape, couldn't even drive, couldn't even work, just stay at home, and also has obesity. So she feel very sad about that too.
Wow. That's an uncomfortable one, the resentment between siblings. And even I have a twin sister, and she has said to me before, nothing major, but it's amazing what children remember. She said to me in the past year that, and this is when we were really young, she's remembering, yeah, you know what? When we were both, when I was crying, she said, when I was crying, Mom would come over and then you would start crying and then she would pick you up, meaning me, and comfort me. And I'm like, what? Like, how do you remember that? So I don't know if she did remember that as a child, or her mind is, presenting that. I don't know, but it's amazing the perceptions that we have of our childhood. But I really believe that hypnosis gets to the heart of it. Those things that we're hanging on to, or we don't even know that we're hanging on to, come clear through hypnosis. What else can you tell us about childhood? Is it really, I'm going to, not scientific here, but the stuff that challenges us, holds us back. I'm going to say in my mind, it's probably like 80% of it comes from our childhood. Do you think that might be accurate? Do you think that number might be even more?
Oh, I think maybe even more than 90%. Think about it, before we were 7, basically everything already formed.
Yeah.
Actually, because this, I did a hypnosis on another patient. She told me, at the moment the conception happened, she already knew her whole life. This is like about a 70 years old lady. And she also has some like jealousy, anger, sadness. And so her ancestor came from Ireland during the famine. So there are a lot of starvation, a lot of baby dying. So they came to the United States. But during their generation, like my patient, right, she had like 2 brothers, 2 sisters. They have food. They don't need to be starved. But somehow the pain passed down from their great-grandparents to them. She said basically everyone in her family besides her has obesity. And they have so much pain. They have to do drugs. They have to drink alcohol to hide the pain. She felt very sorry for the whole family. She like, I have to do something to stop the pain because it has been generation, like continue. She doesn't want the pain passed down to other younger children anymore. That's why she did hypnosis. During the hypnosis, she told me she saw, although she was not there, right? But she saw the baby dying, people not healthy. Like, it's a very sad situation back in Ireland. I don't know how many years ago. It has to be like more than 100 years ago or something. Yeah, it's hypnosis can trace back not only childhood, can be, your ancestor or even past life or something. That's true.
Well, great point you bring up, that we experience things before we're born. We can hear things. We can feel the emotion of mom. And some of that can also have an impact on us later in life. We might not remember it, but it comes up during hypnosis. I remember once, a long time ago, I had a session of hypnosis And they asked me what, as they went back, through now, childhood, and then before I was born, what was your mom experiencing? What was she feeling at that time? I, during hypnosis, was getting the feeling, and I don't think I was making it up. I kind of knew what my mom was dealing with, around the time base of what she told me later in life, but I felt it. That's the thing. I felt it. How can you make up feelings? I don't think you can. It's a feeling, and I was feeling it. But I wouldn't have known that other than using hypnosis. I wouldn't, just think now. It's interesting what comes up as you go back, as we tap into the subconscious. But for anybody that has an aversion to this, you're not doing anything other than allowing us to tap into our mind or our subconscious. That's it. It's almost like you're holding the key that we can unlock, and then you lean back and then we do our thing. Like, I think a lot of people think that the hypnotherapist is doing certain things to manipulate your mind and change things. No, not at all. Not at all. You're just opening the door. It's almost as if you're driving the car, but we're in the car and we're telling you where to go. I need to go to childhood or whatever it might be. But you find a lot of people are feeling that they don't fully understand what hypnosis is.
Yeah, actually, that's true. Some people, they don't understand hypnosis. They are like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose control. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yep.
I maybe give out my credit card or something. No, that's not gonna happen because during hypnosis, you're going into subconscious, but you're still conscious. You know what's going on. So it's not you're totally falling asleep or something. So you're safe. And like you said, I'm just holding a key. Basically, I'm asking you some questions. You answer the question. Through answering the question, you figure out what's going on. You put the puzzles together. Why my life today is so sad? Why I'm so angry? Because of when 3 years old of me, I went to somewhere, I got rejected. That's why I don't trust people. I don't have confidence anymore. So it's you put the puzzle by yourself. I just provide the puzzle for you. So like you said, you did the work. You do the work by yourself.
Well, when we worked together, I had that realization. I had a goal, and the realization why I wasn't meeting the goal was what happened roughly when I was around 5, happened again about 5 years ago. Kind of the same thing, just older, but I didn't realize it. And back then, the same thing was happening at 5 as it is happening essentially right around now. So when I put it together like a puzzle, the pieces go together. It's like, oh yeah, there you go. And I found benefit. I figured it out. You help us figure it out. What's something else that you might want people to know about hypnosis? What else do you want to share?
I want people to know hypnosis is very important, actually. Some people may think, oh, I'm perfect. I have a good life, a good job, so I don't need it. But you do, because even you have a good life, but just think about this. We all have the gene passed down from our ancestor, from our parents. So many years ago, we have to know, many years ago, people don't even have enough food. That kind of pain is pretty big. We don't even have enough food. People can do something sound like crazy, like many, many years ago. Okay, let's say. People don't even have food. Sometimes they have to even like sell their children or something. Today when you think about it, it's crazy. How can you do that? But when people don't even have food, they can do something sound very crazy because without food, you just cannot survive. That kind of pain can pass down to the younger generation. Even right now, you don't have that kind of problem at all. Even you have more than you need food. But that kind of pain can be stored in your subconscious mind and trigger something happen. Like, for example, a lot of rich people, they are rich. They definitely have the money, but they can be very, very cheap for something like even $30 or something. They can be like, no, I don't want to pay the $30. Like you're a billionaire. Why you care about $30? But they do. Why? I
Yep.
think that's from the generation passed down to them.
I'm totally hear you loud and clear. I've seen it. And yes, and it could, 2 generations back, there was a scarcity mindset. You had the stock market issues. You had my grandmother came off the boat from Ireland. Potato famine, like you talk about, it's historic. People from Ireland generations ago lived on just potatoes because there was many major issues back then. I could see it's conceivable that could carry over to somebody now where they have challenges with food, and the same thing with money. I mean, how many parents a couple of generations back, depending on how old you are, would say, money doesn't grow on trees. Be careful what you're spending on. Yeah, you may still have that. And that could also be your mindset about money, where you don't think you can make more because you're being blocked by that one comment or a couple of comments when you were a kid about money. Let's say, it was the holidays. You got $10 back then when you were a little kid, and you were like, can we go to the store and buy? And your parents say, save your money. Be careful there. You never know. They planted the seed, came from a good place, came from their upbringing too, and now that holds you back. And to your point, you could have bazillions of dollars, but you're still very careful with your money because of that one thing that was imprinted in you. Amazing how this all works. And it can be done virtually like we did it. How do we connect with you, Dr. Kelly? What's the best way?
They can go to my website, Kelly121acupuncture.com. There's the form they can fill in. They can talk about, I want to do acupuncture, or I would like to do hypnosis. And also they can call me or text me, 347-885-1865. So we will respond, either way. So then you can make an appointment.
Yeah, even just start a conversation. Maybe somebody reach out to you and explain what they got going on and how you might be able to help them. It's just like we're talking now is how we did our session. I don't know, it was really not any different. Maybe I closed my eyes a couple of times, get a little, visual. It's almost like watching TV. And at any time I could have said, I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't have a reason to. It was so easy and natural, just like we're talking. But it gave answers. And for that, I thank you. Thanks for being here today. We have a great weekend. We'll talk soon, okay?
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.